Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Something Something podcast. And
The Shit Isn't a Dirty Word podcast hosted by Karin Nahmani.
who's going to be on in about 5 minutes, maybe. So it's weird how we've been doing the show with Karin for almost a year now.
Mm-hmm.
And we kept saying we're going to have her on the Something Something podcast, but there's this thing adults have called schedules and personal lives, which I don't have any. Well, no, I do have one now. It's just the stuff that I do in my personal life.
Stays on Facebook.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I said, recently I've gotten really into cigars. In fact, when we're done with this, I'm going to smoke some. But I've been drinking a little bit now. Last night, after coming home from a funeral, I drank a Pabst Blue Ribbon, and I had the strangest dream. All I can say is there were multiverses, different versions of me, different versions of people I know. I wish I would have remembered more so I can write it down for a script.
Well, first of all, this is one of those times where our guest and our very dear friend and an author, podcast host, Karin Nahmani, she's also wellness, digestive health, colon health. So I'm very glad you brought up both smoking cigars and drinking before we bring her on.
Hey. If it wasn't for these three things, Jesus, cigars, and whiskey, I'd be in a lot worse shape than I am right now mentally.
You know, Eric, oddly enough, that would probably make a really good country song.
It would make a great t-shirt.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
We're sitting on a gold mine.
That's right. Oh, God bless
But
America.
now talk a bit more about everything we've been doing with Karin, and then we'll just bring her on.
Man, we first started working with her talking about the podcast, and she has a book by the name Shit Isn't a Dirty Word, an unorthodox approach to digestive and colon health. So we've been working a lot with Karin on her book and getting it a much more wider release, which we'll get into that very quickly when we bring her on, because that's very exciting. And working on the podcast and really helping Karin get out, because as we'll find out, I'm sure, and there's quickly, Eric, I don't know if this is the same for you, but as we started our podcast and we talked to a lot of different people, some people and companies are open to working with creatives, in the mainstream. And one of the things that I'm sure Karin will kind of cover is, because the name of her book, some marketing places don't really want, they don't know what to do with her. And I think, she'll be able to talk a little bit more about that. But once you get done listening to this podcast, please switch over, and I'm sure the link will be in for her podcast.
Oh, yeah.
But we've been talking a lot about, she's got a vitamin line. And so, and it
a
really
very,
works.
very good one, by the way.
Yeah. And right before we started recording, I was mentioning I'm surprised, but not surprised, that her vitamins are doing very well. And they're all digestive. And actually, well, you know what? Let's just bring her on.
Let's bring her on.
A lot of stuff. So, Karin, hi.
Hi guys. It's
Hello.
so nice to be on the other side.
It's so weird introducing Karin.
Instead of it's like your guest instead of your
I know.
always fun. And you always make me laugh. And that's what life is about. Not my show, not your show. I mean, life is about laughter, bright sun, light.
Yeah.
And Eric, I heard your dream, and just so you know, I always like to add some new stuff. You know, it was a full moon last night.
Oh,
So
was that?
people out there, if you had
Yes.
any creepy change in the mood during the week, not just yesterday, but like everything got kind of stuck. Nothing was like going smooth. That's why.
See,
Really?
I do believe that because the moon affects water and our bodies are pretty much half water. So I do believe the full moon does affect us in some way.
Mm.
And from some reason, the moon was closest to Earth last night. So, I mean,
Really?
yeah, it was the closest it was. So, yes, if you had any change, it's funny because all the clients I've seen that past week came with like kind of the same thing, very gassy, very bloated, a
Mm.
lot of headaches, a
Mm.
lot of like uncomfortable thing, you know, like anxious kind of. I had a
Mm.
client that have appointment next week, and she called me, Karin, you have to see me today. I can't wait for next week.
Wow.
So it was like, and then I was like, damn, it's the moon. Okay, so yeah. So listen to you, smoking cigars, drinking. This is all my favorite, though I don't smoke cigar, but I definitely drink.
Oh.
And I'm
We've never,
having
what's your favorite thing to drink? We've never talked about that before.
okay. So as a girl, no. Depends where you catch me. So
Okay.
kind of like more gin and tonic
Mm.
or vodka with some either pineapple or cranberry. But if I'm like talking about sugar, so I will change the juice to a flavored soda, like a sparkling water with some lemon, or so that will give me a good kick to the vodka.
Okay.
If I'm playing in Vegas on one of the
There we
slot
go.
machines, I I like to have my days with either Campari or with lemon drops, which I love. If
Okay.
I'm going to one of my favorite restaurants like Tao Lavo, I like my lychee martini. So here you go. This is what I like. And if we're sitting on, I don't know, in the boat or in the river, like, you know, we have fun. Campari will do it. Vodka with something will do it.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm not a beer person though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Me, it's 95% of the time whiskey, neat, not mixed with anything, just boom, whiskey.
Whoa, man.
no, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. Every time I'm seeing those people
Yeah.
drinking so many beers to get booze, and they're so puffed out and so puffy, and I'm like, just take a good shot of tequila, a
Yeah.
good shot of good scotch will just do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
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 What about
Like
you,
I said
Larry?
before, have fun. You
Yeah.
need.
You know, I don't drink beer. I don't like beer. I
Really?
do
You
like,
look
you know,
like
I like
the type.
margarita. Huh?
You look like the type of drinking beer.
No, it may be the beard.
Yeah.
So yeah. No, I don't like, you know, if they made sweet beer, I'd probably be all over that, but no, it's
So
too bitter for
start
me.
with your lemon drop. You're gonna love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are you
Eh,
telling me that you like the type of alcohol that a sassy grandma on vacation in Palm Springs would drink?
Yeah, with a sun hat and big sunglasses and a scarf wrapped around. Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
You
I
know,
really love your dreams and your drinks. I don't smoke cigars, but in my old days, I used to say, well, I'm Israeli, joined the army. You know, everybody
See,
does.
that's what I wanted to talk to you about. We only briefly mentioned that. So you were in the Israeli army. Do you know what's the type of martial art they teach you? I keep saying it wrong.
Krav Maga.
Krav Maga. Do you know that?
Uh-huh.
Wow. Explain what that is to everyone because not a lot of people know it.
It's just another method of protecting yourself, like self-defense. Pretty much, it's a great method. They teach it, at least here in LA. They teach it for weight loss. For also, in these days that you want to know how to protect yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had burglaries for over a year all over the mountain I live. And as I told my husband, let's register. Well, I'm against guns, but I said, let's register one, just put it in the safe in case of. And then he asked me, like, don't you be afraid to shoot someone? Like, dude, I was in the army, I was commander. If anything comes between me and my kids, I don't, I don't
Yeah.
think twice. If you're gonna piss me off, I won't. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I don't think twice.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
what age
But
did you
you
join?
don't use guns. I'm against any weapon.
Yeah.
At what age did you join the army?
What?
At what age did you join?
You have to, it's mandatory, age 18, you say bye-bye. By the time you're going to the college or to some spring break party, we join the army. The army is fun. I loved my time over there. I spent 2 years. Probably the best. I don't want to say the best in my life because I had other best in my life, but yeah, it was a big part that kind of made us not tougher, but stronger in mind. We know what we want. We're more mature, and that you. I mean, I see my kids. My kids are so freaking different.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
so. I mean,
Yeah.
they when I say that, but they're like really dorky.
Right, right. Actually, I was talking to some friends yesterday, and they were all women, but they had all joined the army, and they had
Oh,
been out for a while, but they said it was probably the toughest, but probably the best time that they've ever experienced because again, it's just like what you were saying. You grow, you learn so much about who you are and what you're made of. And I think that's fascinating.
And I think one other thing that it teach you what family is, because family is not just by blood. Family
yes.
is
Right.
also what you create, is your environment, is your friends, and it's a great bonding. It's friends for life.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So you were in the army, the military.
Mhm.
When did you get into the health and wellness field?
I was, you know what? I was always in the health and wellness field. It's a big part of my life because my mom is one. I mean, she's a esthetician, but she's like holistic one, so she
Hmm.
does a lot of energy work. I'm coming from a very large family of I want to say witches.
Really?
Herbal. Yeah, I mean, each one of my grandma, my grandma, they always treat us with herbs. That's the only we don't know medication. That's the only. I mean, if
Mm.
we had, like, for example, stomach ache. She used to take some alcoholic drink. It's called arak. It's like anise. It's more like the sambuca, like
Mm.
style. It's very anisey. She
Hmm.
used to like rub it in her mouth and spit it on the stomach. In 1 second, it would freeze your stomach because of the
Wow.
licorice. And I swear to God, stomach pain are gone. I'm familiar with enemas since I know myself. That's how they used to. All the grandma medications are
Yeah.
not new to. So when we have like ear infection, they used to take garlic clove and actually put it there, and that would soak. Yeah, that would soak all the pain, all the fluids or infection. And same thing goes for your teeth and gum. You would like stay with some cotton dipped in. I mean, that's how I grew up with, like I said, with it's very familiar to me.
Yeah.
Since the day I know myself, I used to touch people. I used to, you call it healing, I call it massaging, touching, whatever. And it always worked. It's something that drawn me more. And as I finished the army, I went to the state and I started to travel. And then I went back to Israel and I joined the university. And I started like class after class. I already started with treating people. So yes, it's very familiar to me. I always did. It's not something new to me. Colonics, though, 22 years ago, during my school time, no one wanted to volunteer. I want, and I wanted to, since I'm very straightforward, I really wanted to finish all my internship hours. And my nutritionist professor, she used to be the pioneer of colonics back then. No one wanted even to touch that thing. And I was like, how many hours you gonna write off for me? Like, join me, I will. You know what? It was a love story. I fell in love with it. Then I moved to the state. I moved to the state basically to teach massage for 3 months while I stayed here for 22 years already. So I ran a massage school here in Tarzana. So I used to teach massage and reflexology and herbs and like everything I kind of know. And I did colonics on the side. But back then, colonics wasn't that big. So that's why I had to keep up 2 jobs. I'm a hardworking lady.
Yeah, you are.
And
I
back
can.
then I didn't even had kids. So, and after a year, I think was a year, I started to search for to open up my own clinic. I remember the day I told my husband now that I want to open my clinic when I lived in Tarzana. He's like, who's going to come to you? I'm like, don't worry about that part. People will know me because it was very, very new. But it was the same new as massage. When I came and teach massage, people looked at me like crazy. They were like, Karin, massage is only to enjoy. I'm like, no, massage is therapeutic. You just don't know it. I mean, I'm a master Reiki for 24 years, and Reiki is now like, whoa, the big new thing. I'm doing cupping for ages. And not the last, so like few Olympics ago, when Mike Phelps came out of the pool and up, suddenly people started like, oh, the new thing. I'm like, new? I'm doing it for so many years. That's not new to me. With Americans, and I'm sorry I'm saying it, I had to teach people to kind of know what treatments are and not to be afraid. Same thing with colonics. So I did open up a place in Sunset Boulevard, in the heart of Sunset.
That's cool.
When no one knows. I know. That was the coolest thing ever. When no one knows me, when my husband, God bless him, gave me a present. He gave me all the money I needed for the first. So he purchased everything for me. He gave me the money, and as he gave it to me, he's like, you have a 1-year lease. I paid everything. Do whatever magic you do. After 1 year, don't come to me. I was like, okay, it's a good deal. Sometimes, and this is what I teach a lot, and this is also for the audience, universe always give you opportunities in life. Always. It wasn't my dream to be a colon hydrotherapist. My dream was to help and actually open a center for cancer patients, to treat cancer patients with all my knowledge, with massage and reflexology and Reiki, with everything I know. As I told you, I know it's sad news, but as I told you, and I mentioned that last week, dreams come true. Well, not in the order you want, but dreams come true.
Yeah.
my passion is to treat cancer patients because I've seen what it does to them when I treat with energy, with colonics, with everything. My husband got diagnosed 4 months ago, about 4 or 5 months ago, with cancer. And since then, my life changed a bit, not a lot, but it did change.
Yeah.
And we're doing a lot. I treat him a lot with so many things. And one of the things I keep, bang heads, again, walls, is doctors, that they don't want to hear nothing about anything but themselves. And I was like, that's fine what you do. If I had the option not to go with chemo with my husband, I would choose not to. But after I checked with 3 different doctors that money can buy, I went to the top ones, one in Canada, one in Los Angeles, and one in Israel. One of them is oncologies and homeopathic. So I did take few from all the regions I know in my powers, and all of them told me together, Karin, he has to start chemotherapy. Wasn't what I want to hear, but we're there. But from the other hand, I actually treat him to support all that, which is amazing. This week we started with energy treatment that works amazing, that I opened up all his chakras and then mindfulness to actually clean the cancer. In my opinion, whatever you wish does come true.
Yeah.
And universe does give you opportunities. So I'm going back to where my dream wasn't to be colonics, but the universe brought me. It's like that door opened and I took it with both hands, and I just fell in love with what it actually does. So I'm a unique person. I never been a mainstream. I know it about myself. It's not something new. And I love it. I mean, I love every moment about it. And I think there is no other person better than me to talk about shit. Now, after 22 years, I know it for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So I did open. So I'm saying, like, if something opens up and goes smooth, go with it. It happened to me with the book. I never dreamed about, writing a book. Writing is not part of me. But opportunity came, it kind of something called me. So yes, 22 years ago, this opportunity came. My husband joined me to even give me that step. Since then, I built up my clientele. I built up an amazing practice. I treat pretty much everybody, from the simple to the most known people in the world, not even in Hollywood, but in the world. Today, I can say I reach pretty high because everybody know my name when it comes to what I do. Whoever needs to, of course. My name is pretty strong out there, but it took me years to build it. And I didn't really advertise it. I did, the minimal thing. Just to let you, maybe you're just younger than me. I'm 40. I'm gonna be 47. But 22 years ago, I advertised in magazines.
Wow.
That's cool.
Wow.
That's very cool.
No internet, no website, no Facebook,
Yeah.
not any of those magazines.
Yeah.
And I'm laughing because my longest term client that comes to me for 22 years, those are the clients that came from the same magazine.
Wow.
That's awesome.
All right, I gotta ask, what magazine?
Paid my magazine. No, so I'm saying, like, there is blessing pretty much in everything. And one thing for everybody, when you love something, it shows. When you get up in the morning and you do something you're passionate about it,
Yeah.
you're in the right track. So yeah, that's how I got to Colonics, from the back door, like my life, back door, back everything.
Yeah.
So for the audience, Colonics is cleansing of the colon, is the most important thing in the world. Doctors will agree with me that all the problem starts in the colon. Every doctor, whether he likes me or not, they will agree that every single thing starts in our colon. That's why it's so important to take care of the colon, to clean it from time to time. As I mentioned, I did wrote a book about it that called Shit Isn't a Dirty Word. I love that book. It's
Yes.
funny,
Yeah.
right to the point. It's
Yeah.
explained to the average Joe in very simple word. What is it? My goal was with that book to break the taboo about shit. I want to teach people that shit isn't a bad thing to talk about it. It's
Yeah.
actually very natural. I want to break the taboo about the subject that everybody's so close-minded about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about just close-minded, closing their body about it. You know, very important and unique thing. Our body should eliminate toxins and waste and everything. And we don't talk about it. You know, we talk about it just when something goes wrong. So
Yeah.
I admire other doctors that talks about it, like other colon hydrotherapists and also other doctors that deal with colonoscopy, which is so important to do. I mean,
Mhm.
and it's always, you know, every time I see new clients and they're like surprised, I've never heard about it. That's why I wrote the book, so
Mm.
everybody should know about it. I want to spread my word around the world, not just around America. So I am working about translation in Hebrew, and I'm working about some Zooms that will go soon. I already
Yeah.
did a YouTube. I will forward it to you, but it's in Hebrew though. But I did a YouTube for some group that called Ima Magshima, which is in Hebrew, it's like a mother that wants to complete herself or
Mm.
to embrace her dreams and, you know, make it happen.
Mhm. Mhm.
So we did like a video, same thing, explaining about it to the group, to
That's
that group
cool.
of, you know, because there is no information, and if there is information, it's something that written in some small. It's a life changer. I wish both of you will do it in some point, but you started with my vitamin, which is amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
So, like you mentioned as well, my book talk about every step of the way. I think I wrote it in the way that you gonna feel it on your body, giggle, laugh, and tell yourself, dude, I feel like that every day. And then we created together my poop chart, which is so important. And I mean,
Yes.
so great just to know, as mother, as parents, you always look at your kids poop when they're young, not when they're old. But it's so important. And you know what? It gives you this red light. You know what? Maybe something is wrong.
Yeah.
My thing and my goal is not coming from ego. It's not about being, I don't care about being famous or not. I'm famous. I know I'm famous for what I do
Yeah.
with the group of people. The rest, I don't care. It's not gonna, you know, not gonna change me a bit. It's not gonna make me better or worse. This is who I am. What you see is pretty much what you get. I'm laughing, I'm cursing during the treatment. Whatever I said in the book, that's exactly how sessions happen. I'm trying to give my client the best feeling comfortable because they give their body to me and I need to connect with them in some way. So I do connect energetically and I gain their trust in a way that I can help them because my goal is to help.
Yeah.
My goal is to create help to people that needs me.
Yep. Yep.
So yes, the vitamin line, I created it for my clients pretty much for the digestive health. They work amazing because I get all the feedback back. And I gave you two, I think I gave you all my line. I
Yeah.
don't know, Eric, do you have the colon cleanser as well, right?
Yes, I have everything.
Amazing. So if you take it in the morning and at night, what's so important about that one, it's not a laxative, but it will help a person to go when they eat.
Mm.
So it's just going to help eliminate. It's just going to teach the colon to create more bowel movement a day. And the average bowel movement a day is between 1 to 3 times a day.
Mm.
I
Mm.
know everybody gonna raise eyebrow. I'm gonna say no, but I'm going. It's amazing. You go to the restroom. You should go more. And I promise each and one of the audience that they never go to the restroom and feel like, wow, I'm clean. That almost hardly ever happen. Why? Because there is so many things that stuck to our colon from over the years. Amazing thing is the digestive enzymes. That's the orange bottle I gave both of you.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I think, one of the most important one that everyone should have, because everybody have some bloating.
Yep.
And if you're on some diet like paleo, or if you don't eat any gluten and you suffer from, this is amazing product to use, and it has to be 1 hour before you eat something. So my recommendation always to take it on empty stomach on first thing in the morning, and one during the day, so at least it covers your breakfast and then your dinner. I know I send you, Eric, all the how to use them, even though there is on the label. They're all organic. Some of them
Yes.
are less organic, but most of them are organic. They're gluten-free for sure, and they're vegan for sure.
Mm.
So they cover everything.
Yeah.
And they're amazing. I use only natural sweet. For example, the B12 is made of carrots and beets. So the sweet come from that, not from regular sugar.
As we talk about the gummies, I'm looking at them right now, and everything in me just wants to sit down and eat them all while I watch a Yankee game
I
because they're
know,
so delicious.
I know, but very important, darling. You don't exceed more than two a day on empty stomach. They're delicious. I know, but this is not the gummies to eat.
Oh, I'm only doing one a day. That seems to be
No,
working
no, no.
best for me.
Okay. Try to do 2 on empty stomach. That's the
Okay.
way to go. I mean, I'm telling you, because I have it in my office, and my little one, my 7 years old, 6.5, I had gummy, and I guess she either asked for someone to
Oh
open it for her.
no.
And I saw half of the, I'm like, dude, oh my God. She eats them. She thinks well, it's nothing gonna happen, but
Well,
I
yeah.
don't want, you don't
Yeah.
want to exceed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, this is about, the vitamin lines. Of course, anyone that wants to get them, they can get them through my website. They can get them through, just even call me, whatever you feel like method to order them. There is free shipping as well.
I
And
just
they
gotta
work.
talk about that for a second, how amazing it is that you do that. Because there's a lot of times, like I usually buy stuff on Amazon with Prime, but when I go to other sites and I see that I gotta pay shipping, and it's usually like $10 shipping, I won't buy something if I have to pay a lot of money in shipping. So the fact that you're giving free shipping on any order, that's really awesome.
Yeah, well, I figured that, again, I want to say, I don't like to use the word cheap or expensive. They're good price for what you get.
Yes.
Usually my life is always what you pay is what you get, and and you don't get upset. But but it's very important that whatever you buy, you get full potency for your money and full use, because you can buy cheap stuff and it doesn't work, so you waste your money. So I know we're going through tremendous time, COVID and people losing their job, and I'm feeling all for them. And free shipping is the only way for me to actually help you. And if I can help with that, it's fine.
Yeah.
Again, my goal was always to help others versus to make money. So
Yeah.
maybe I'm not in the right business, but that's the way I do
No,
my thing.
you are absolutely
In the
in
right
the
business.
correct business. You're absolutely where you're supposed to be. And no joke, I mentioned at the top of the show, but before we started to record, I mentioned because we are talking about your vitamins. And no, I do not joke about this because, you know, I am surprised that they work so well on me, but I'm not surprised that they came from you because you know what you're doing, you know what you're talking about. Because I can tell you the apple cider. So when you open up the apple cider vinegar gummies, you can smell
The
it. It's
smell.
great. It's great.
Yeah.
It's there's something comforting. Okay,
Cider, it's strong.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. There's something comforting about, sometimes when it's a heat really hot and it's super hot and comfort, but it's very comforting. But, different smells are also comforting too. And for
Mhm.
some reason that's a little comforting to know and to be able to smell it. But I kid you not, my bloating, because if you listen to our other show, your show, Kareen, if people listen to it, and I just rave on and on about the things that I'm doing, eating more healthy. I am doing exercise, obviously, but when I added your vitamin regimen, it's
Hey,
I not only feel it, but I can see the difference in my belly, in the bloating. And this is gonna sound weird because it's on our something something podcast. We
yeah,
never
we
talk
heard.
about poop, right?
No.
But we always talk about poop on yours. But you look at and see, this is a good thing about your poop chart is once you look at it and you see it and you really study it and you go, oh man, I'm probably not the healthiest when my colon's not the healthiest. But probably after the first week of taking them, I was like, oh my God, I'm getting
No,
more health. My colon it's becoming it's becoming the Arnold Schwarzenegger of health. It's getting
you know what?
healthy.
If there is one thing I'm happy is, like I mentioned before, I want to give knowledge.
Yeah.
And meeting both of you, you don't have to, work on my pattern or try it. The fact that I changed something in your thought, even if it's one thing, that made the difference.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm talking about. Is sometimes people look at me like, oh no, I don't. Oh no, I don't need. I'm like, it's okay. I'm First of all, I'll never gonna ask or convince anybody to treat their health.
Right.
If you do not want to do that, no one else, the best doctor in the world, cannot treat you if
Mhm.
you do not want to do the change. So
Right.
it has to come from somewhere. Now, knowledge is power. So hearing that in the first time, maybe the second podcast, maybe after reading the book, something will sink to you, and you can say, okay, let me look at my poop. Okay, let me look how I feel. So, or let me look at my skin. It's something that changed from time to time. And I'm so happy that two simple people
Yeah.
that never did that, coming from different background, acknowledge information
Yeah.
and wanted to change something. And as you go, you're feeling also the difference. So it's like that's the lottery I'm talking about. That's the best thing that happened. And this is exactly what I want to do with other people
Yeah.
that actually suffer from a problem, but they don't have the knowledge because no one talked to them. Now, we did talk about, the hard time talking about poop. about shit. Like I said, I'm not in the ordinary person for anybody. Really hard to digest me. It's okay. Like I'm not easy to digest, I guess. You can ask my husband. He gave up long time ago. It's like it's really hard to digest. And what happened with companies around when they first heard the title, they were like, no, change your title. I'm like, I don't want to change the title. I'm willing even to maybe change to something that represented, but I'm not trying to be polite. I'm not trying you
Yeah.
to like me. This is
Right.
not, I don't care. um I have work. I don't like to say I have enough work, because there is always good to have more.
Yeah.
But I'm happy with what I have. So my publicity is not to be famous, it's actually to spread the word. And it's amazed me again and again how to be polite, how to be mainstream, like politically correct, is so important for a word that says poop, shit, which is not even insulting to anybody, because it's like talking about our health.
Right.
Talking about sex, much easier and more open. Talking about all the movement of transgender, everything is so like so easy.
Yeah.
But say the word shit is offending someone, I never gonna understand. But you know something? When I started my practice 22 years ago, I heard the same words also from my husband. Who's gonna come to see you? So I guess it takes time to the nation to digest. In some point, shit will be a word that everybody will talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's why there is podcasts, because people are tired of covering shit around. People are
Mhm.
tired of covering everything to look perfect. I'm tired of seeing perfect. There is no perfect, and we don't want perfect. It's illusion. Well, I live in the biggest illusion
Oh,
region.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's and I'm looking at my kids. My kids think that to be famous and to ride a boat and to, you know, I don't know, fly in a jet, it's something that is on the everyday. And no, it's not.
Right. Yeah.
Someone needs to like shake hands and like, no, it's not. And also, I'm not a small person. Well, I'm not very thin. I'm not fat. I'm not big. I'm average, and I love the way I look. But it's like never have image problem and never did Botox or anything. This is what you see. My skin is after cleansing, and the images you see are not good. Same thing. You have a problem, they give you laxative. You have a problem, they give you some Advil. So no one really treat the symptoms. So I'm
Mhm.
very happy that there is movements of podcasts that people can actually feel free to talk about, and not beeping them and shutting them
Yeah.
for words. And it's crazy. It's crazy. I see it in Facebook. It's crazy. And I think, you know, Kim Kardashian said it not that long ago that guns have more rights than our body. I
Mm.
mean, this is a different subject, but it's true. To
Mm.
talk about guns, to talk about, you know, I don't know, posting bully and stuff like that on the internet, they don't remove it. But if I'm going to post something about shit, they will block me saying
Right.
I'm using
Yeah.
not the correct word.
Right. Right.
It'll drive me crazy till today, because I'm like, on the places that you really need to actually bend, you don't do.
Yeah.
And places that, you know, even teaching about sex life, about, you know, about it should be more open, more legit to talk about. Again, teaching people, not to use it to insult or use it to go into, but I'm saying like talking about actually problem. It's a problem that 98% of the nation are suffering, if not 100%.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially after COVID, everybody have stomach issues. I
yeah,
guarantee that.
yeah, yeah. You know, I'm glad you're talking about the podcast, because on your podcast, obviously, you know, we freely talk about, you know, poop and digestive health and even homeopathic stuff, because I love, and that's what has gotten me into looking at the homeopathic stuff, remedies that, you know, like have been around forever. And
They did.
you're very, very unique. Obviously, what you do is super unique. But the way that you talk about it, and the way that, and it's odd because, you know, when Eric and I talk on the phone, we go, this is this is how you've changed us, Karine. We talk about, man, I'm using those vitamins,
I'm
and
happy.
boy,
I
they
just want to
are.
point out that this happened recently. I'm more comfortable talking to Larry about my bathroom stuff than I am about relationship stuff.
And I'm telling you, Karine.
And that will open the relationship too, because it does connect again.
Yeah,
Cleansing is a cleansing.
yeah,
We have to clean, but the cleansing happen with emotional,
yeah.
not physical. So it's changes. The
Mhm.
colon tell us a big story. I
Yeah,
know how to tell the story. Not everybody knows how to tell the story, but as you get connected, change, divorce, love, emotion, everything at the end of the day hide in our system, in
mhm.
our colon. That's also the first chakra. That's the first base. You created for me a post I just posted
Yeah,
today in my story for people to understand like the chakra levels.
yeah,
So 7 of them. There is the base, and then there is the belly, and then there is solar plexus, and then there is the throat, and the third eye, and then we have the crown. There is energy that goes up and down all the time. So I'm not telling new stories. This is real. This is happened. All the Chinese medicine is relate on that as well.
mm,
And the Chinese also believe that everything starts with the colon. So the minute we start to take care of the colon, all the other systems start to work, and it's amazing. You don't really need to do a lot for it.
yeah,
I mentioned my husband is like with cancer. The thing is that I'm cleaning his toxins with colonics. I do a lot of herbs to support all. I mean, from one thing, he puts a lot of poison in the body, and from the other hand, I'm taking that poison out. So
yeah,
I'm kind of remaining balanced,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's amazing. And I can say that this week, like last week, I started with body energy work that works insane on him.
yeah,
And then when I'm saying insane, it's because when my husband tells me, Corinne, I'm so weak, I can't get up. And this is a man that played soccer 3 times a week, and he's
mhm,
only 54. And his vitals are good, but he's weak. And the day after the treatment, he woke up with so much energy, came to
Wow.
me, gave me a kiss, a hug. I'm like, whoa, what happened to you? It's like amazing.
yeah,
I mean, again, it's slow, nothing is magically, but it's very important to be positive in your life. Very important to be open for some changes, and changes can be very small.
yeah,
So my intake to your audience is, I hope I touch somewhere, somehow, uh, in their gut.
yeah.
As my mom always tell me, thank God you make money from shit. And as I tell her why thank God, she's like, because everybody everybody poops and everybody have problems. So as long as they do that, you have work.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's
And I
great.
will say one thing, at least it happened in my family, and I'm sure it happened in every family. When you sit for dinner or a picnic or whatever you have in a restaurant, the last subject everybody wrap, and it's right before dessert, everybody start to talk about shit, whether they like it or not. You're always gonna hear someone say, "Oh, my stomach ache. Oh, I didn't use the restroom." Tell
Right.
me something. There is something for it. Everybody talks about it without even knowing.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Mm.
it's a subject that needs to be talked about a little bit more often. A little tip to the audience, please, age 45 to 50, go do colonoscopy. Colonoscopy is so important. It's a lifesaver. Lifesaver, endoscopy. I mean, listen to your body. Your body always give you signs, small ones. Don't ignore them. If you ignore them, it can be too late.
Yeah.
Never ignore a sign. Always ask questions. If you have stomach ache that goes on and off, and you go to the doctor, ask questions. Go clean your colon, clean your body. You're gonna feel amazing in so many levels. I can't even,
Yeah. Yeah.
explain. I'm so happy to be in your podcast and to reach more and more people. As my work goes, always digestion happens slow and on the right time.
Yeah.
So soon my book gonna be all over, right? It's
Yeah.
gonna be on Barnes and Noble,
Absolutely.
Target, all
Target,
the
and that's one of the things. Obviously, it's like a work. You know what? It's everything is supposed to
digestion.
happen. Yeah, everything
Hmm.
is like that. It's a work in progress, and it happens when it happens. But we do have news that you are. So I'm in San Antonio, Texas, and while we're waiting for Barnes and Noble to pick up your book because it is coming. It
Hmm.
is coming.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a matter of bureaucracy. That's
Yeah.
Absolutely. We do have a great opportunity. It's here in San Antonio at the Twig Bookshop. It's located at the Pearl Brewery. People that are in San Antonio or have been to San Antonio, they are very aware about the Pearl. It's been around. It's the historic Pearl, by the way, but it's this great little bookshop that's at the Pearl, the Twig Bookshop. We've been working on it for a while, and when it came down, I was like so excited because they're like, you know what? Yeah, we'll put the book in, and then they threw in, and this is what we're going to be working on, and we'll have you back on. Obviously, we'll talk about it on the something something and your shit isn't a dirty word podcast, but we're going to be putting events together for your
Hmm.
book.
it is. Yeah, I'm so excited. It's gonna be
Yeah.
fun here.
Me too. I tell you, Kareen, obviously, we've known you for right about a year. And
Yeah.
and from the first time that we've talked to you, I know for me, you've made an impact on not just me as a person, but me as a healthy person.
The way I think about my health also, I always tell this story. A few months ago, I was having severe back pain, and I thought it was because of the compression sock that I wear. I took it off. I'm still in pain. Then I realized, I didn't really go like I
Mm,
normally do. And I marched myself to the restroom, got a book, and went hard, like I got it all out,
let it go.
and it was a couple flushes because I'm very, again, I will tell you guys about that, but I will not say anything about relationships. I don't know why I'm like that. I mean, I'll say, yeah, sometimes it takes me a whole roll, but I won't.
Because you're normal. Well, what is normal in our world?
Like
Who
You
I was
have
knows?
gonna say, after I did everything in there, my back really stopped hurting. And like earlier today, I was pretty tired. And I did all I could do before the show started, and it woke me up.
Mm,
I guess it was all.
I'm happy to hear it. This is a great news. And also, for all the audience, follow us on Instagram, on
Yes.
Facebook.
please.
We have all the podcasts is recorded, and you can always find something for yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Eric, where would the links be?
If you're listening in on Anchor, all of the links will be in the description, and all of the links will be posted when this goes up. When this goes up, probably we're recording this on Thursday. I have a few things to do today, so I'll put it up tonight so everybody will be able to listen to it on the July 15th.
Perfect. Excellent.
Yay!
Yeah.
And looking ahead, obviously, we are looking at events that we're talking to people now, but Karine, you had mentioned that you hope that someday Eric and I would experience colonics. Well, I'm going to be taking a trip to Los Angeles here in the next couple months, and guess what we may do on our Instagram?
I don't
A
know if
great live.
Instagram will allow that, though. We got to look into it.
Oh, well, I mean, it's not the process. It'll just be me going like this. Oh, okay. So
And
I'm
I
excited.
will be taking the videos of what comes out.
That's right.
Oh.
Oh,
And
man.
we will be selling it on the internet
That's right.
for a
That's right.
very high price.
That's right. That's right. But you know what? Since I'm taking your vitamins, and yes, I am going to be ordering more, it will be a very healthy poop, I believe, that comes
Oh,
out.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
am sure.
Oh yeah. But Karine, I mean, you not just I no, just from knowing you, meeting you, talking to you, working with you, I have not only become, an admirer, you're an inspiration to health. You're an
Yes.
inspiration to health and wellness, and I believe wholeheartedly in you, and I mean that in the best way possible, because you're amazing at what you do.
I'm so honored because, yeah, I guess that's I brought to this world is to inspire, and that's what
Yeah.
I want to live when I leave this world. Inspiration, touching people. If I could help someone out there, well, I guess I did my goal. And
Yes.
from a
Yes.
good place, not as like,
Yeah. Yeah.
not as a
Yep.
suffering place, a good place. I mean, really, this is it's my passion, and
I could tell. I can tell.
Oh.
You
it's
and
great.
and there is a
Great
reason
to
you're
see
colonics.
smiles on people's face.
Yeah, I tell you. And for people listening, follow her on Instagram, Karin Nahmani,
Mm-hmm.
author and Pure Center.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're there in Los Angeles, why not go? If you've been, then why don't you come on and tell us and talk to us on the
Yeah.
podcast? But please, you can pick up her book. You can pick up not only her book, but her poop chart and her vitamins if you're there in
Vitamins.
Los Angeles, in Tarzana. And if you're online, click the link in the description and get all the stuff and
That's
get
right.
healthy. Start loving life, because it is. When you let that shit go, oh yeah,
You feel
it's
That's
amazing.
right. Yeah.
very true.
And
Very
I
true.
think that is the perfect way to end this week's episode. Karine, it's always, I feel weird thanking her for being on the show because
I know.
it's like weird. But again, it is always fun to talk with you. And, I think this is going to get you out to a different audience also, the weird artist types who
That's right.
listen to our
Oh,
show.
come on, guys. Weird artists. I'm already working
That's
with
right.
all of
That's
That
right.
is true. That is
But
true.
again,
That is true.
everybody, make sure you follow all of Karine's stuff. I mean, people cry over her episodes being posted. Go on to the Instagram and you'll see that, and on the TikTok.
That's
But
right.
again, Karine, we can't wait to, do one of your shows next week. And I think we might have an Instagram live coming up soon.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, everybody, like we say each and every week, support our troops.